course you've got to take care of it. If we get a traffic ticket, the other driver has grounds to sue.
Romanian steak.
Romanian steak, fried potatoes, carrots, and cauliflower.
Cauliflower, carrots, cauliflower. Don't you get tired of the same chazarai all the time, year in, year out? Why don't you try something new for a change? Darling?
Mine's okay.
Yeah? How does it look? A judge's car in violation?
You were driving it, and you had to argue the law with the officer.
He was rude. He was rude, and he used language that he shouldn't have used to the wife of a judge.
Hey, you. Wait a minute. I can't eat this. Send it back.
Roy, you want something else, darling?
Yes.
He has his own Reuben sandwich.
He can't eat this. Take it back. Bring him a breast of veal. Bring him a breast of veal.
How was the officer to know that you were the wife of a judge?
She told him.
You told the cop that I was a judge?
I am your wife. He should not possibly have given me a ticket. How does it look? Oh, Al, make a call.
Dora, listen to me. It is a violation of judicial ethics for me to interfere. It's dishonest.
Al, I am firm about this.
Look at the way you talk to that waiter. If you have friends instead of enemies, you'll never have to worry about your back. Get the point?
You're a man with power who won't even use it to protect his own. Loyalty. Loyalty. Does that word mean anything to you? And you're telling this boy how to live? You are?
That's the idea.
Don't. He's mine. This is one boy they're never gonna forget.
What's the name of the judge?
The Communist Party of the United States is a fifth column if there ever was one. It is far better organized than were the Nazis in occupied countries prior to their capitulation. They are seeking to weaken America, just as they did in their era of obstruction when they were aligned with the Nazis. Their goal is the overthrow of our government. There is no doubt as to where a real communist loyalty rests. Their allegiance is to Russia, not the United States. The communists have been, still are, and always will be a menace to freedom, to democratic ideals, to the worship of God, and to America's way of life. I feel that once public opinion is thoroughly aroused, as it is today, the fight against communism is well on its way. Victory will be assured once communists are identified and exposed.
This is a foul philosophy, this communistic thing. I would move to the state of Texas if it ever came here, because I think the Texans would kill them on sight.
You refuse to answer that question. Is that correct?
I have told you that I will offer my beliefs, my affiliations, and everything else to the American public, and they will know where I stand, as they do from what I have written.
Stand away from the stand.
For Americanism for many years, and I shall
stand away from the stand.
I am not and never have been disloyal. I am not and never have been a communist. I am not and never have been a supporter of, a member of, or a sympathizer with any organization known to me to be or suspected by me of being controlled or dominated by communists. There is not a communist bone in my body.
Well, I have never read Karl Marx, and I don't know the basis of communism beyond what I've picked up from hearsay. What I've heard, I don't like it, because it isn't on the level.
Communism in reality is not a political party. It is a way of life, an evil and malignant way of life. It reveals a condition akin to disease that spreads like an epidemic. And like an epidemic, a quarantine is necessary to keep it from infecting this nation.
If I had my way about it, they'd all be sent back to Russia or some other unpleasant place.
Nurse.
Doctor! Hey, check his BP. Yeah, I got it.
So what do you need?
Is the O2 on? O2
Readings
is on,
later.
but I'm not getting a reading on the meter. Here, try this.
Here, I'll try.
Is he breathing?
Oh, he's breathing.
Pulse 120.
Get a blood gas. Respiration 36.
You want to get a respiratory team up here?
Get a crash cart, a gurney, and a stat chest x-ray.
Who is this guy? The White House called again last night.
The president wanted to know what they could do for him.
Or to make sure he was dead. And the blood gas doesn't look too hot.
I need a face mask over here. Did you know this guy?
Roy Cohn. Oh, we knew him all right. Joe McCarthy's strong right hand.
Oxygen 4 liters. My father said he was a great patriot. I remember him saying that.
Great patriot.
Those spies, the Rosenbergs, he got them executed.
Well, 20 says the great patriot doesn't make it till dawn.
Fuck you. I don't need you. I don't need anybody. Roy Cohn could take care of himself. Took care of the fucking Rosenbergs.
All rise. The judge is the Honorable Irving Kaufman. Be seated.
Julius and Ethel Rosenberg approached the bench.
You stand convicted in this court of giving to Russia America's atomic secrets.
It is not in my power, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, to forgive you. Only the Lord can find mercy for what you have done. The sentence of the court upon Julius and Ethel Rosenberg is that for their crime, they are sentenced to death by electrocution. Order in this court! I said order in this court!
Whiskey's gone for the children,
Order! I said order in this court! Bailiff! Bailiff! Take that man out! Silence! I'll have you removed! Bailiff! Silence! Silence! Oh, God. Oh. Peter.
Good morning.
Peter.
Did we sleep well last night?
Oh. I beat him again.
Have we been behaving ourselves today?
Yeah. Oh. Peter, where were you? Peter, where have you been?
Brought your favorite frog.
Yeah, well, they tried it again last night. They tried to kill me. The bastards didn't make it, though, did they? Look at that. What do you see there? You see the sun? They hit this one doctor. They paid him to kill me. They couldn't do it themselves.
I don't
Miserable
think so, Roy.
cocksuckers, so they got him to do it. Oh, you don't think so? So what, you hate me now, too? My friends hate me. My enemies hate me. Now you hate me. Everybody hates me.
You knocked off your enemies a long time ago, and your friends love you. You know that.
Oh, please. What, are you trying to make me feel guilty?
Oh, I long ago gave up on that one, dear.
What is this, trafe? I'm just trafe.
For Christ's sake!
Now! If you love me, you'll help me find my clothes.
You'll go a long way to find a better friend than me.
Get back. Come on.
Roy.
Come on, we'll fly back. We've done this before.
I know, Roy.
Now, get out of my way. Get out of the way.
Roy!
Please, Mr. Cohn, please get back into bed, Mr.
Just
Cohn.
go back to bed. Oh, Peter.
Roy.
Please. Please.
It's only going to hurt more this way.
Peter, help me. Help, please. Oh, God, I don't know you. You're not on my list of visitors. Get away from me.
Actually, I do this at home all the time. I'm quite good at it.
I know who you are. You're the angel of death, but you're no fucking angel. You're deaf. Get away from me.
Roy,
No.
Roy, please. Roy, now you know who I am. Roy, you know I'd never hurt you. You know who I am, Roy.
Please, Jesus.
Roy. You can't keep alienating everyone who tries to help you. I mean, eventually, a person just says to themselves, fuck it. I have to take this. Not even from Roy's own. Roy.
Peter.
You're going to end up all alone, love. Now, please.
Fucking angel of death.
Just relax. Just relax and try and stay strong.
Strong. I need to fight somebody to stay strong. Get it.
You fight the disease, but not your friends.
What disease? I don't have a disease. Oh, Peter. Don't let them do to me what they did last night. Okay?
All right. You'll be okay.
I'm gonna fight this thing alone. No help. I don't need their help. If I die, I die. But I won't. Right?
Right, love.
Slow down. Stop eating me. So help me God.
I remember.
Dead.
How could I forget?
I killed you, spy.
Was I?
You're not real. Why am I talking to you, Peter? Spy.
Was I? Or did you just make it up? Here's a secret, boy chick. The electricity makes everything brighter. I could see. All the Jews were afraid because they thought if you killed me, all the Jews would die.
We don't want to be disturbed, okay? Yes, sir, Mr. Cohn. I'm glad you asked to see me alone, Mr. Feller. What did you want to tell me?
I didn't ask to see you. I was subpoenaed.
Okay, I got to tell you, we're going to stop right now with the lawyer terms and the weasel words, all right? You're United Nations Chief Counsel. If anybody over there knows who the Reds and the Pinkos are, it'd be you, or it should be.
I've already been asked this.
Why are you having such a hard time answering this?
I don't have a hard...
I understand it's personal, right? Now, talking about your friends. Nobody likes to talk about their friends. But the national security of the United States cannot be endangered because of your personal feelings for your friends. You understand me?
Ask me anything about myself.
You see that? You see that flag? There's a war going on right now between Americanism and communism. And if you are a friend of America's enemies, then you're an enemy too. Do you understand me?
I know your father, Roy. You know that? You're like Mishpucha to me.
You have nothing to hide,
I
right?
saw you when you was when you were running
You
as a
certainly
little
have
kid.
nothing to hide from me. Okay, so why did you choose to hide behind your constitutional privilege?
It's not a privilege, Roy. It's a right.
Well, you must have a guilty secret of some kind, or else you wouldn't invoke your privilege.
It's not a privilege. It's a right.
Okay. Okay. Here, give me that. Give me this. Not under oath, okay? There. You've never been subpoenaed. So now you can stop hocking me. And here we are, a couple of Jews sitting in a room talking. Okay? Hey, you want some coffee? Oh, yeah, let's have some coffee. The FBI knows these people. How the hell do you think we got your name? It's not like you're betraying anybody.
Roy, Roy, I didn't become chief counsel at the UN to become chief executioner of my fellow man. The whole purpose of my work at the United Nations is to help create a world free of states where they have inhuman interrogations like this.
You take cream.
I don't want your coffee. What will you do to them, Roy?
Well, nothing.
What will you do to them?
Nothing, Abe. You could, though. You could fire them. That would show your loyalty. Or you could just give me the name.
Senator McCarthy, can you tell us?
You ask more than your pious hand-wringing about these traitors infiltrating our government. They want the communists, they want the brutalitarian communist networks exposed, put under the light. They're mine, and I'm not afraid to point them out and get them out. Oh, no, get them out of the State Department, out of the government, out of the colleges and universities. Oh, no.
How do you Senator, Senator,
yes.
when will you actually release those names?
Well, this isn't a press conference. This is for Christmas. You'll get the names. You'll get the names. Sorry.
Senator, excuse me.
Roy Cohn.
Oh,
Roy
Roy,
Cohn.
yes,
Hi.
with the
United Nations.
Yes, sir. Yes, of course.
I wonder if we might have a private moment at some
Well,
point.
a lot of hands to shake here, but
It would
later.
take, just take a
later?
minute. Just a minute.
Don't worry, later.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm Robert Kennedy.
Yeah, I know you. I know who you are.
Well,
You know
better,
me.
you better catch him early.
Oh, I'll catch him right now. Thanks. I owe you one, okay? Thanks, Bob.
Hi, how are you?
A little wet behind the ears, aren't you, kid?
Well, I got the Rosenberg convictions and the death penalties.
Bullshit. Sapel got those. You were a paper pusher, kid. But credit where credit's due. The Abe fella thing, you did well on that for Pat McCarran.
Thank you, sir.
Look, I'm moving from ranking minority to chairman. It's going to be my subcommittee. Want to come on over?
Well, wait a minute. You've got Bobby Kennedy, don't you?
Yeah, it's chief counsel, probably, but not appointed yet.
Chief counsel. I can't sit behind him, Senator, and watch him destroy your work.
Destroy my work. How do you mean?
Senator, I've seen enough names working for Pat McCarran. You're going to be hauling up Jew after Jew, all those European names. And with a McCarthy and a Kennedy together, it's going to look like an Irish Catholic-run pogrom. And that's going to discredit everything you do. And I know, because I'm a Jew, okay?
They're communist. They betrayed the faith of the fathers for this socialist god of iron. Now, that's the issue, not anti-Semitism.
That's not what your opposition will say. You see, it's very hard sometimes to control what an issue really is. And if your enemies can find a way to twist your motives, believe me, they will do it. Now, look, you got a lot of people pushing you one way or another, but I think, if it were me choosing, sir, that Kennedy would be a lot better off. He'd be more at home with the Democrats. You know what? Maybe he could be minority counsel. But in my estimation, of course, you'll make up your own mind.
Your father is a liberal Democrat.
Senator, if I ever thought that my father was disloyal to this country that we both love, I'd put his name on the list myself. I'd be the first one to put him in a witness chair and tear him to pieces. You think Bobby Kennedy's going to do that with Joe Sr.?
Why aren't you drinking, huh?
Why? Do I have something to celebrate?
You got a mouth. Here, the birth of Jesus.
Right. Another tough Jew.
Roy, I think I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Good evening, dismissing North and South America and all the ships at sea. Let's go to press. Flash, Washington, D.C. Wedding bells become warning bells. The new alliance between Super Red Hunter Senator Joseph R. McCarthy and Wonder Boy commie-catching U.S. Attorney Roy Cohn will wheedle out all those Amerikanskis secretly on missions from Moscow. Music to mine ears.
A maid comes in twice a day.
Yeah?
Room service, I pick up the phone. Working with McCarthy, I own the town.
Own the town. That's wonderful stuff.
These are all in preparation. Look at this, okay? Look at this. This one?
Yeah.
This one? FBI investigation, Army, G2 summaries, various departments, all very sensitive investigations. And I worked very hard.
Half a page. Oh.
You listen to Winchell?
Of course I listen to Winchell.
Does he love me?
Abe Feller is a communist like you're a communist.
I don't think you know, sir.
A friend of mine called me today. Abe Feller's staff has been fired because he gave them the names. Then they fired Abe Feller.
Who's your friend, Dad?
Abe Feller is a Jew. Abe Feller is a liberal. Abe Feller is a visionary. For those things, he does not deserve this.
I just got the hottest job in Washington. Do you think you could be proud of me, maybe?
Why you have done what you've done is a profound mystery to me.
What does it take to get a nod from you? You think communism is a joke? You didn't think Hitler was a joke? Well, to me, a commie Jew is as disgusting to you as a Nazi Jew would be. You should be saying, good work, son. I am so proud of you. Have those words ever come out of your mouth?
Al, if you have something nice to say it or go. The boy is home for the weekend, so just let it be.
I am trying to talk to you about what is right.
You know what's right in this crazy world, Dad? What's right in this world changes every 10 minutes.
What is right never changes. I am ashamed.
Who's your friend, Dad?
Roy.
No, forget it. No.
Roy.
Who's your friend, Dad?
Roy.
No.
Roy.
Who's your friend, Dad?
Roy.
Dad.
He does not grasp things the way we do. He has no grasp of things. I mean, he just, they're clubhouse boys. They stick together. I am proud of you. Always. So, you like this girl?
You met her before, Mom. She's a friend, Barbara.
With a hairdo like this?
Yeah, I like her, yeah.
I mean, she's not for us, is she? I mean, we can do better. We can do better.
It is not the less fortunate or members of the minority groups who have been selling this nation out, but rather those who have had all the benefits the wealthiest nation on earth has to provide. I have their names. These names will be called to account. The brightest and the most privileged who swore to protect the Constitution and defend the same America they now plot to bring low. I want to light the spark of a moral uprising that will end only when the whole sorry mess of twisted, warped thinkers are swept from the national scene, and we have a rebirth of national honesty and peace.
The last time we met with Abe Feller, he confided rather openly about the pressures he was feeling from special interests within his own organization. Apparently, sadly, tragically, they overwhelmed him. To give Abe Feller's death meaning, we owe it to him and to ourselves to continue to root out this conspiracy, to bring it to light, and to bring it to an end. And that way there will never have to be any more Abe Fellers.
Mr. Kaplan, I don't care what the bureaucrats think of your work. It's pretty sickening to me.
I was promised
and the American people are fed up.
I was told I could read my statement.
Oh, I've no doubt you were, Mr. Kaplan. I've no doubt you were.
Let me do it. We'll just insert a statement into the record. Okay? Winchell's my man, so just let me do it, okay?
Senator, I insist on the promise that I be allowed to read my statement. Senator, I want the promised opportunity to make my statement, impugning un-American motives to me.
Check my mail. Seriously, now, please.
Senator.
With the consent of the committee, your statement will be made part of the record. Chief Counsel will begin the questioning.
Well, if you'll just give your statement to the clerk. State your name and the nature of your work. Could you state your name and
Raymond Kaplan.
Thank you.
I'm an engineer with the Voice of America. I've been in their employ since there's been a Voice of America, about 10 years.
I'm not an engineer, sir, but I've always felt to be one, a good one, you would have to be pretty intelligent. Would you agree?
There are all kinds, like everything else.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me rephrase it this way. A C student isn't going to make it. A B student might squeak by. You've got to be smart.
It helps.
An eye for detail, an understanding of how, in your case, the receiving, the transmitting of radio waves, etc. You have to have that down pat.
Yes, sir.
And you do. Otherwise, you might make a mistake.
Yes, sir.
So, sir, now that we have eliminated stupidity and incompetence, wouldn't it be fair to say that when you order transmission towers erected where they cannot possibly send out signals to the countries we want to reach, it must have been done on purpose? But, I'm sorry.
No, why?
I'm sorry. Excuse me. Did I say something funny? Did I say something?
No, I don't think it's funny.
To embarrass myself?
Why would we?
Why? Because there are disloyal people working for the Voice of America. We know that, and you know that.
No, I don't know that.
But, think about what you just
and
said.
transmission towers.
You, as much as admitted that the towers were intentionally
No,
placed
it's much
for the
more complicated than that. It's a very complicated. For example, sunspots.
We know your credentials.
Do they affect the transmission? It's not exactly clear how.
Sunspots? You say sunspots? Or perhaps disloyal Americans selling out our country. And you know who we mean.
No.
Ray.
No, sir, I simply disagree.
Ray. Mr. Kaplan, sir. If you want to help the Voice of America, get back to work, and we all certainly want to help the Voice of America, then why don't you tell us who of your associates made these stupid mistakes, as you said?
I didn't say that.
No. But as you say now, they didn't make mistakes. They placed, for political ends, VOA towers where the American message could not get out, where it was inaudible in the countries that we wanted it to reach. You know who we mean. Names, Ray? So if they're disloyal, we'll find out. And if you are disloyal, then we can understand why you don't want to tell us.
Mr. Kaplan, you're trying the patience of this committee, and you're wasting valuable time. You're under subpoena.
You're under subpoena. You could be held in contempt. Can we have those names, please?
Names, Mr. Kaplan. Tell the truth.
Mr. Kaplan, can you give us the names, please?
Cohn, you put me in an absolutely
Bobby,
impossible situation. I am not the postman.
I'm not asking you to be the postman.
I am not.
I asked you a simple
That was
favor.
an
Stop breaking my balls
impossible
already.
I'm in the studio every day at 5.
Can we talk about this tomorrow?
Call me then.
Okay.
Dictate to my secretary, I'll
Thanks.
put it on the air. Any Sunday, any item.
Okay.
I only want exclusives.
Thank you.
No gangbangs.
Okay, listen, the names from executive sessions, I got to spread around. Thank you very much, Senator. I got to spread around, you know, Sikorsky lines and so on. But I'll make sure that you get all the extras, all right?
Good. I'll make you a star. I used to be a tap dancer.
Nice work.
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate it. See, Walter Winchell is the real Voice of America.
That's your ass. Hey! I would super Jew boy like to meet the #1 ace Catholic Mick in New York. So it seems there was this Texan and his Jew on the moon.
Okay, so I'll tell you right now, this is a Goyish joke. If it were a Jewish joke, they would not be on the moon. Where would they be? Miami.
No, Miami Beach. The
No.
go to Miami.
Okay, that's a Jewish joke. A Jewish tragedy is Miami.
Good to see you, Cardinal.
Walter. Cardinal, Joe.
Let me introduce you to his chief legal counsel, Roy Cohn, Francis Cardinal Spellman.
Your Eminence.
Mr. Cohn,
Gentlemen, a good group. Roy, always enjoy meeting a fellow priest. In Hebrew, Cohn means priest.
Well then, Cardinal Spellman, you will have to be my rabbi. Fair is fair.
Evil exists. It's around us all the time. It's so pervasive that we don't see it, like the pattern in the wallpaper. People live in an evil world like fish in the sea.
They swim in it.
Wallow in it. Fuck in it.
They don't think about evil. They don't talk about evil because they don't see evil. You know, we need people like you and Mr. Cohn here to make them see. To force them to stop and look, to discover communism for what it is. The march of the soldier slaves of Cain, incarnate again.
It's not even Sunday.
What amazes me is the number of hate letters I get when I try to unmask the Reds in our own government. Hate letters from all the bleeding hearts.
Excellent choice, Walter.
Thank you.
Does that mean that the committee can expect the support of the church, Cardinal? I mean, I'm not a Catholic, of course, but we believe in the same God. We believe in the same values.
Well, I don't speak for the church. The Pope speaks for the church. But any enemy of Satan is an ally of the Archdiocese of New York.
Paul Seb. Well, waiter. Waiter. More wine for the senator.
And a bourbon?
And a bourbon. Murderer's Row. Who said that? Who called us that? Who cares? It has a nice ring to it. Anyway, they haven't seen anything yet, have they? How are you? Have you been?
Excuse me.
Thank you, Congressman.
Excuse me, honey. Can I borrow Roy for a second?
Excuse me, sir.
Walter's got
how do
somebody
you do,
he wants us
Senator?
to meet.
Great to see you.
Hi, Senator. Thank you. Mr. Vice President.
Joe, you gotta introduce me. I want to meet.
Oh, sure. Mr. Vice President. Richard.
How do you do?
Mr. Roy Cohn.
Mr. Vice President, an honor, sir. I'm a great admirer, sir.
Madam Alphonse.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
See, Senator, everybody wants to come to the party. I love this. Love it.
Excuse us. Excuse us, please. Excuse us. Oh, hello.
Bobby.
Bobby.
A little pissed, our golden boy. Your show was fantastic last night. It was just great, Walter.
Thanks, Roy. I thought it was dynamite myself. Roy, Joe, I want you to meet a very special pal of mine. G. David Shine, this is Roy Cohn. and
Mr.
that, of
Cohn,
course, is...
this is a great pleasure and an honor for me, sir.
Thank you.
David's in town looking after the northeast section of his family's hotel chain. He also wrote a book on communism.
For or against?
I put it in every room of every hotel in the entire Shine family chain of hotels, right next to the Gideon Bibles. You're in it. Against.
Again. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just funny because
No, look, I'm sorry. I don't have a sense of humor. I just admire what you're doing.
Well, thank you. And you want to be a part of it? Is that it?
Me? No, I don't know what I could do. Senator McCarthy, it's good to see you. Can I get you another drink, sir?
Bourbon.
Anybody else?
We're fine.
Oh,
It's fine.
Excuse me.
Thanks. You heard what he said, right? Can you excuse us just for a second? Yeah, just go powder your nose. You heard what he said, right? I mean, he said he had no sense of humor. Nobody ever says they don't have a sense of humor. Nobody ever admits to that or being a lousy lover, do they? I mean,
I never heard of him. Yeah, but look, he's as devoted as a puppy dog, and he's as rich as a Rockefeller. Besides, I owe his old man a couple of favors. So maybe you can find a spot for him on the committee or something, huh?
Well, I say I'd be flattered, but, you guys go into work every day, don't you? Is it early? I don't know, maybe not.
He's kidding, right? I mean, you're so funny. I mean, you should think about working on the committee. Joe, I think this could be a possible asset. And think of it as a character builder or just, you know, a hoot.
To be part of something great, you know, that would just be, well, great.
Really. I'm back.
Oh, where did you go?
Better times. Full of hope. Oh, God, we were so young. So what's the indictment, Doctor? Theoretical? Principal? Personal? Give it a name.
I don't name names.
Well, we know them already, so what's the difference? God, what did I ever do to you? I don't even know you.
Well, I had an uncle, a nuclear physicist, kind of a dreamer. He lost his job and he never worked again.
The shit hit the fan and a little got on you. Amazing. What a small world.
A lot of dreams died.
Well, now you got Roy Cohn right where you want him. No wonder you're trying to kill me.
That kind of malice is just beyond my strength. Can you imagine that?
You won't try to hurt me. And you want to know why? Because you're still afraid of me.
Taxpayers are putting out $100 million a year to maintain our libraries across the seas to get out the American message. Is it right that those libraries should be stocked with books by communists? Well, we have a list of those books and those authors. And that is what G. David Schein and Roy Cohn are crusading against. Anybody got a problem with that?
What's your jurisdiction?
Our jurisdiction? What's your name? Huh? The whole damn government, that's our jurisdiction, and don't you forget it, pal.
This is Orly Tower. Roger 930. Man 5500 to Orly Rand Station.
Mr. Schein and I are hot on the trail. We are finding this insidious mind-washing going on everywhere. We found enough to question seriously the loyalty of our own administrators. Plenty on the shelves by subversives, Dashiell Hammond and the like, but interestingly enough, not a single copy of the American Legion magazine. No more questions.
Monsieur David Schein,
Get in the car. All right.
Merci.
Champagne here. Drugs never stop. Shut up. Just get away, will you?
I wrote a book.
Mr. Schein is a published expert on the communist conspiracy. His book is read all across the United States. David?
Should I tell him? It's right next to the Gideon Bible.
Ah, fuck him. We'll knock him dead in Spain. Verstehen, Liebling?
Señor Cohn, ¿usted cree verdaderamente que Hemingway es un agente ruso?
Are we to understand, Mr. Cohn, the Maltese Falcon and the Thin Man are actually Marxist propaganda? Mr. Cohn!
Is William Powell Marx or Trotsky, would you say? Is Esther Lenin or Engels? Mr. Cohn, do you intend to burn the books?
Mr. Schein, have you read the book? Mr. Cohn! Mr.
What about Mr. Hammond, sir?
Mr. Hammond?
Thank you.
Your books used to be in all the overseas libraries, but no more. No more, no more, no more, no more.
Being on your list is an honor, and I'm forever in your debt, sir.
Now look, Hammett.
The only person who calls me Hammett is Hellman.
Mr. Hellman, Mr. Hammett, you're not hurting this committee with your smart remarks. You're only hurting yourself. We're giving you this shot at saving your career.
We'd like you to describe the apparatus of your organization, those to whom you reported, what they told you to put in your books, others you may have seen at party meetings. And we'll expect you to testify to a certain amount of this in public session.
I know what you're thinking about, but it isn't so, nohow. Contrary-wise, if it was so, it might be, and if it were so, it would be, but as it isn't, it ain't. That's logic.
Very funny, Mr.
That's
Hammett.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. Tweedledum and Tweedledee. So long, kids.
Mr. Hammett. Mr. Hammett.
I mean, it's a free country, isn't it? So far.
Mr. Hammett.
Mr. Hammett! I say we haul this sanctimonious son of a bitch up before the committee and make him swear the oath. He pulls that shit on us there, we stick his ass in jail. I say we do it. They drafted David. The media found out he was registered in California. They transferred him to New York. The board got scared. Bing, he's in the Army.
Always liked the thin man. Hammett's a good writer.
Come on, Joe. We just nailed up a real red. The guy lives with Lillian Hellman. She's probably a dyke. I mean, she writes all those plays about him.
What the hell? Does that mean Ayn Rand's a dyke, too?
Probably.
Oh, no. Hoover's been watching Hellman. She, she does it with guys.
Joe, just because Lillian Hellman lives with a man does not necessarily mean she's not a homosexual. Everybody starts out straight. I never heard of anybody being born homosexual, have you? I mean, it's just time goes by and sometimes I guess it happens to them without them even knowing it.
How much do you really know about Shine?
What about David?
Well,
Joe. People are going to say anything to get you. It was because of his work for us that David's draft status was investigated by the press in the first place. They'll do anything to undermine you and your confidence in us. You've lost confidence in me? I'll resign, sir.
Now give me that sir shit.
Joe, I know you like Hammett's books. Hammett's a good writer. Probably a good guy. Michelangelo was a great artist. A painter, inventor, sculptor. And yet, he was a pervert. And he was disloyal to his prince.
Go after that supercilious Hammett son of a bitch.
I want to help David, too.
Oh, yes. God forbid G. David Shine should ever have to sleep on the ground.
God forbid.
Yes. Put him on. Mr. Cohn, this is Bob Stevens. How can I help you?
This is Roy Cohn, Chief Counsel to the McCarthy Committee.
I think I know that.
Yeah, our Assistant Counsel, G. David Shine, will be entering the Army shortly. The Senator is requesting a commission for Mr. Shine, and that he be attached to our Senate committee as his military duty assignment.
Well, that's normally handled through the Office of Legislative Liaison.
You're the Secretary of the Army of the United States of America. You can do this.
Just tell the senator to put it through the regular channels. If there's a problem, they can deal with it.
Why don't we just meet and you get to know him?
Cohn, they're ready for us.
Just put it through the Legislative Liaison Officer. That's Major...
Oh, Bob, just do it.
Annie Lee Moss.
Annie Lee Moss.
Yes, sir, I just said it.
And you know that you've taken an oath to be truthful in your answers here today, yes?
Yes, sir.
You work for the U.S. Army Signal Corps with access to the confidential and security files.
No, sir. No, sir, I don't.
You don't work in the Pentagon? But you're sworn, Mrs. Moss, to tell the truth?
I don't work anywhere. I'm on suspension.
This isn't the last, Mrs. And don't think a play of sympathy is going to distract us. Now, please answer this. Are you now, or have you ever been, a member of the Communist Party?
No, sir, I'm a Democrat.
We have testimony before this committee that your name appears right on a list of members of the Communist Party.
That's what it was, in the cafeteria, cleaning up. And then
How you got your job handling classified Army documents with access to...
Just go help him. Everything is in code, and I don't know any code.
What? You don't know code?
No, sir. Can I get my job back?
Chief Counsel will continue the questioning.
This amuses you, doesn't it, Mrs. Moss? Let me just assure you that you're not only not going to get your job back, you're going to be in prison for perjury, Mrs. Moss.
Mr. Chairman, if I may...
If this can wait, can this wait?
I understand that Mrs. Moss, Mrs. Annie Lee Moss, has been identified by name but not by sight. Is that correct?
We have other witnesses, Senator.
I would like the chairman and chief counsel to have this information. Mr. Chairman, there seem to be 3 Annie Lee Mosses in the district phone directory. And this woman, who may have been done an injustice here, comes off awfully straightforward to me. I suggest that we'd be doing our duty responsibly to excuse this witness and look to our own procedures for investigation. And if it takes a vote, I'd like to vote.
Mrs. Moss. Yes. You're excused for now.
Thank you. Wondering how we were coming on that commission for our assistant counsel.
We've run into a problem on that. I had hoped that Mr. Shine had had some ROTC. That would have...
I don't know if he has.
He didn't, it appears. And short of going to officers' candidate school...
David Shine agrees, as does Senator McCarthy, that officers' candidate school is just the thing.
That's excellent. Private Shine can begin the application procedure just as soon as he's out of basic training.
Well, how long is all this going to take now? All this application, schooling, training, so on and so forth?
A year.
Maybe I wasn't clear. I said Senator McCarthy. McCarthy, so don't give me any of this bureaucratic bullshit about procedure, okay? Just remember that name. And this one, Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn. You don't want to make Roy Cohn angry. State your name.
Annie Lee Moss.
Want your shirt? The real Annie Lee Moss.
Yes, sir.
And you do, in fact, work at the Pentagon?
Yes, sir.
Are you a communist? Have you ever attended party meetings of a Communist Party cell?
Where and when would that be, sir?
Don't be evasive with me, Mrs. Moss, because I tell you what I'm going to do. We've subpoenaed every member of your little group, including its communist leadership, and we are going to parade them in here for all the American people to see, including 2 leaders of your cell who will come in here and swear under oath that you are lying to this committee.
The committee is taking a brief recess. Roy, come.
What do you mean we're taking a
Please, out of the way. Please.
Is this necessary?
Very. We got word. The witnesses will not be appearing.
What? They didn't get their subpoenas? Who fucked that up? Kennedy? Bobby, can you excuse us? Look, Joe, if those witnesses don't show up, we're going to look like a couple of assholes.
The FBI called. They said they cannot find them.
The FBI can't find them? Yes. Who called from the FBI?
J. Edgar Hoover himself.
Hoover? Yes. Man, I don't believe this. We should go after the FBI next.
Roy.
Joe.
Excuse Mrs. Moss
Joe.
from any further testimony.
Senator, you are missing the point. Now is not the time to let up. Now is the time to attack.
What are you trying to do to me?
I am trying to make a great man out of you. Taxi!
Roy Cohn?
Mr. Hoover.
They're FBI agents, Roy.
I'm sorry?
Those communists you subpoenaed, they're undercover operatives of the Bureau. I want to keep them undercover. I don't want photographs of them, so you can't call them.
But we got to them through another FBI agent.
Let not the left hand know what the right hand is doing. The agent you mentioned has no knowledge the others are ours. I'm confiding in you, Roy. I hope you understand that.
But the others were the leaders of the cell.
Oh, we were able to see that they had the money to pay all their party dues, had the time to attend all the party meetings. I want you to know that America owes you a debt of gratitude for protecting the identity of my men.
Thank you.
There'll be a few embarrassing moments for you in your hearings with the press, but I will always be indebted to you. Remember that. And remember, this never happened.
Well, he is the figure of a soldier, isn't he?
That's what he is. Woo! He's going to serve his country in the U.S. Army, and he's going overseas.
Overseas? Now, wait a minute. We had a deal. You agreed.
I agreed to nothing.
Now you've done it. You made Roy Cohn sore.
We're not done yet, Mr. Stevens. We're not done yet.
As far as I'm concerned, send the kid halfway around the world. I'll be happy.
Look at you. How are you? All right, here, put your tie. This is a very important meeting. Just come here. Huh? And that cute little hat. Stop. Oh, Secretary of the Army, Bob Stevens. It's time you met Private G. David Shine.
How do you do, sir?
Oh, you with the camera. Here, let's get a nice shot of the two of them together, okay? Here we go. Bob, right here. Dave, smile. That's right. You're holding Dave Shine hostage to keep us from investigating the Army, and it won't work because I will wreck you. The senator has got names of a homosexual ring of generals. We're going public. You know you've got a nest of communists at Fort Monmouth? Why haven't you gone after them?
Tape after tape. It's right there, 34 pages of calls and meetings pressuring the Army. You were trying to set up a soft touch for David Shine, and it stinks like hell.
Shine was a valuable man. Now ask yourself, why the Army doesn't want him helping us? What are they hiding? What are you trying to hide?
You son of a bitch.
Now, can we be moderately civil this afternoon? Life is short, gentlemen. We're all responsible to the committee and to the leadership, and no malodorous inferences are to be drawn.
What's your point, Ev?
You're about to be ambushed on the way to your own ambush. But if these tapes go out there, the press, and I dare say the public, will surely mobilize against all of us. The Army. These are our boys fighting in Korea. They're heroes.
Where did these tapes come from? What is the name of the judge who authorized these wiretaps? Has anybody bothered to check into his background?
Bob Stevens always monitors his phone calls. Oh, come on, Roy. You should know that.
Now, this is a tremulous time. I believe that we should speak privately, without staff. But I first want to express my confidence in you, Mr. Cohn. You have the talent of relentless pursuit and incisiveness and a sense of mission that both inspires and challenges. Roy, I know you honor the truth. And while you do, I'll support you.
Now I know how a pancake feels, having syrup poured over it. Staff will leave. With this reminder to everyone here, loyalty. The issue is loyalty.
Lay it out.
The Army feels it's been wronged. They feel that Mr. Cohn is harassing them because of a special relationship to Shine. They want a soft conclusion to the investigation, and the pressure or the chronology is put out to the public.
What has Shine done for this committee? I've never seen anything. And get rid of Cohn. He goes out.
Can I? And why should I? He's got a grasp of it. Now, he's developed so many of the cases. There's no one who could step in. It would be a surrender. A surrender. And I don't surrender. And him, he'd holler, he'd scream from the rooftops. Anti-Semitism. And maybe he's right.
All right. We'll lance this boil on the body politic with the cameras on. Let it all come out.
Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. North and South America and all the ships at sea. Let's go to press. Maine to California and all the stops in between. Keep your little TVs humming this week for the battle of the century. Mr. America, first, last, and always, Senator Joseph R. McCarthy, and his commie-cornering comet, Roy Cohn, will be taking on the secret skeletons in the U.S. Army in the person of Robert Stevens. The bet in this corner, McCarthy and Cohn by a knockout. That's Army loses, America wins.
It is my duty to call this hearing to order. A duty I do not welcome and undertake with great distaste. We are here to hear evidence related to a charge by the Department of the Army of harassment by Senator Joseph McCarthy and his staff, and that they improperly attempted to influence the Army of the United States of America for the benefit of one Private G. David Shine, a former staff member of the committee. Chief counsel for this hearing is Mr. Ray Jenkins, and representing the Department of the Army is Mr. Joseph Welch.
Thank you, sir.
The first order of business, the clerk will swear in Roy Marcus Cohn.
Roy Marcus Cohn, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
Be seated.
As you can see, this photo illustrates the goodwill between Private Shine and Secretary of the Army Stevens. There was no antagonism. As in any relationship, there would be occasional misunderstandings and tempers would flare. But however one chooses to read certain statements out of context, there was never anything but the most cordial, cooperative relationship between Secretary Stevens and our offices.
Now, Mr. Cohn.
Yeah. Mr. Welch.
As counsel for the Army, I feel we need to make these issues crystal clear. So please correct me if I'm wrong.
Sir, you know very well that I shall. Roy Cohn is here speaking for Roy Cohn to give the facts.
Do we not have, before this committee, a list of your attempts to gain special treatment and privileges for Mr. Shine, the length of which is just amazing to behold?
You asking how I plead, Mr. Welsh?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way, Mr. Cohn. This is a hearing, not a trial.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
What is your point of order, Senator?
Our point of order is this. We do not have to be advised on points of law by the counsel for the Army.
Well, I think you do, Senator. I think you do.
I plead not guilty anyway, Mr. Welsh, just for your record.
Mr. Cohn, perhaps you could explain to the committee, please, sir, why you submitted a doctored photograph to the committee.
I do not think that picture is... I do not think this picture has been changed.
Oh, come now, sir. What exactly is your definition of change?
Can I see that up here, please?
No, sir, you cannot.
Well, maybe I'm a little nearsighted. I can't see the picture.
Yes, I do believe you have betrayed a certain nearsightedness. Well, have it where you want. Come down here. I think you will see, sir, as do we all, that in this original picture, there's a new character in the scene. Colonel Bradley, an aide to Secretary Stevens, isn't that correct?
If you'll take these two pictures and look at them, you will see that this part with Stevens and Private Shine is the same. Anyone with common sense can look at it and see what's in it.
Are you saying these pictures are identical, sir?
The relationship. Secretary Stevens is smiling at Mr. Shine, at Private Shine.
Is he? Is he indeed? I think not, sir. I do believe there's just a trace of a smile, a grim smile, directed at Colonel Bradley. Don't you genuinely think so?
You can characterize his smile any way you wish, sir. I see him smiling at Private Shine.
In this picture from which you've cut out Colonel Bradley. But in the real picture, he's looking to his right at Colonel Bradley. Now, do you see just the touch of a smile here on Bradley in return, looking back at Secretary of Stevens? Isn't that correct?
Well, I would say that I happen to know that Colonel Bradley had a good steak dinner that night. Perhaps he was thinking about that.
Yeah, well, if Bradley was thinking of a steak, Shine must have been considering a whole haunch of beef, wouldn't he?
I can't really tell.
Well, perhaps, Mr. Cohn, you could tell me the source of that doctored photograph.
I can, but I have a lot of things to attend to, and it's not in my possession, but I'm sure the information is somewhere.
Yes, it must have come from somewhere. Did you think this came from a pixie?
May I have the last question reread? Last statement.
It must have come from somewhere. Did you think this came from a pixie?
Would the council, for my benefit, define, and I think you may be something of an expert on that, what a pixie is?
Why, certainly, Senator. I should say that a pixie is a close relative to a fairy. Shall I proceed here, sir? Have I enlightened you?
Point of order. I demand a point of order.
What is your point of order, Senator?
I want to say that the committee has no right to cast these aspersions.
That is not a point of order.
The committee did not cast aspersions. If it was anyone, sir, it was I. Or is it in your mind? Now, Mr. Cohn, if I told you now there was a communist spy at Fort Monmouth, you'd want him out of there by sundown, would you not?
Mr. Welch, if we are talking about communist infiltration, then I think we should tell Mr. Welch he has in his firm a young man named Fisher, who has for a number of years been a member of an organization that was named, years and years ago as the legal bulwark of the Communist Party. I have hesitated bringing this up, but I have been rather bored by its phony implications about Mr. Cohn.
Until this moment, Senator, I never really gauged your recklessness or your cruelty. Fred Fisher is beginning what looks to be a brilliant career with us. Now, when I asked him to come here and assist us, he told me that in college he briefly belonged to the Lawyers Guild, the organization to which you refer. I told him that I just don't think I'm going to use you on this case because it might go out over the networks and that would just hurt like the dickens. So, Senator, I sent him back to Boston. Little did I dream that you would be so cruel and so reckless as to do injury to this lad. It's true he works for us. It's true he will continue to work for us. And it's true, I fear he will always bear a scar needlessly inflicted by you. Let us not assassinate this lad any further, Senator. You've done enough. Have you no sense of decency, sir, at long last? Have you no sense of decency?
Order.
You can run away. You're trying to smear the stuff of this committee.
Mr. Cohn.
I don't need it.
You need it. You've been shouting.
Get used to it, kid. I'm getting stronger. I don't fucking need it.
Why not take it?
We'll have no demonstrations of approval or disapproval.
Well, how did I do, Mr. Cohn?
The trial is over. You got McCarthy, but you didn't get me.
You think you're on trial here? What would you be on trial for? And might I say, Mr. Cohn, that for your sexual predilections, I bear no grudge, no malice, nor for the hot, secret practices of your friends, not Mr. Hoover, not His Excellency the Cardinal. But shame, Mr. Cohn, for persecuting in public those who in private are no different than you.
I'm not gay.
Sure, and you're dying of mumps.
Dr. Emmett, please return to Dr. Emmett, please return to
Who gives a shit what you think?
There he is, the lousiest witness I ever saw.
I got a lot of the staff, other jobs. I did the best I could. I couldn't help Dave, but I helped them.
They're hacking at me all around. Long knives, long knives.
Joe, you brought it on yourself. I warned you.
I did?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about G. David Shine, huh? You were getting into something there, weren't you? I just couldn't figure out whether it was Wallach or was it him.
He's a friend, Joe, and I was loyal to him, as I was to you.
Want something?
Try thinking about that concept sometime, Joe, because that is where greatness lies.
Oh, I always just try to do the right thing.
Right thing? What a disaster. If for one day everybody in Washington tried to do the right thing, you'd come into both houses of Congress, there'd be mass suicides.
Yeah, well, it didn't used to be that way.
Are you trying to tell me something, Joe? What? What? Did I cause this? I didn't invent dirty tricks.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You kind of made them into an art form. Look what you did to me. Hey. You ever listen to Bob and Ray? Making fun of me. Awfully funny.
You know, Mr. Cohn, one of the greatest luxuries you can have in New York City is a yacht. The only place a man still pits his strength against the forces of nature. By God, it's clean, sir, untainted.
I love it. I just love it. You love her, Mr. Cohn. A boat is always a woman. There's a reason for that. I wonder if you know it.
No. Okay, I'll take it. I'll give you a check on my firm's account for the down payment. We'll arrange the financing.
Well, all right. This is a good, strong boat. She deserves to be taken care of. A little love wouldn't hurt.
How many people can dance out there in that front part, do you think?
I wouldn't know, Mr. Cohn.
What's that called?
A
ball?
My husband? He was a pig.
Nice.
He was a pig. But I got all the cars in the garage. Oh, and the garage. And the house it was attached to. And the main house. And everything in that. The Picassos. And the dogs. And the IBM stock options. And do you know why?
Why?
Because Roy Cohn is the best lawyer in New York. My dear, he's a killer.
She knows.
And he's my killer.
She knows, and she's right.
Hey, Cohn.
Rescue me on this, okay? And I have to talk to you about something I hate to bring up, but... Carmine! So what, you leaving? You hated it. You got your coat on after the first act. What does this mean?
Tenor's got a voice like Rusty Skates. The soprano piece too skinny like a bone you throw from the dog. I like some meat on my bone.
Iva Schlesinger, a most satisfied client. Carmine Galante. I do some work with Carmine's Association.
Can we have a little discussion?
Yeah, why don't you call me tomorrow about 10 o'clock at the office and...
No, I mean, can we have a little discussion now?
Oh,
See you in a bit.
Just can't wait, Carmine. I have some people here.
Problem's a little complicated, you know, legalities.
Legality, schmigality, okay? Tell me the name of the judge. That's all I need to know.
We'll do that then. Okay. How much a boat set you back?
How'd you know about the boat, Carmine?
You know, you can always come to us for money.
Oh,
you need,
right.
You got it. Come on, we're family, right?
You think a smart Jewish boy like me is going to come to some Italian bone-breaking organization for money? What are you, sugar? All right, but let me ask you a question. Feel this arm now, okay?
Do I have to?
No, you go ahead. Just feel it, okay?
Man.
Yo! Okay, you think I want an arm like that around my neck going, hey, where's our money? Where's our money? Relax. Will you? Would you tell him to get a suit that fits?
Takes care of me.
Boy.
The fee arrangement on your divorce.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm sticking by it. Okay? It was a disaster for us. We overspent very badly. The South African divorces are like a quicksand for cash. My partnership is cash poor. And I was wondering...
How much?
100,000. A loan, just a loan.
I can do that. My darling, that's the least I can do.
A law was made a distant moon ago.
Grace, how are you?
July and August cannot be too hot. And there's a legal limit to the snow here in Camelot. The winter is forbidden till December, and exits March the 2nd on the dot. By order, summer lingers through September in Camelot. Camelot, Camelot. I know it sounds a bit bizarre, but in Camelot, Camelot, that's how conditions are. The rain may never fall till after sundown. By 8, the morning fog must disappear. In short, there's simply not a more congenial spot for happily ever aftering than here in Camelot.
Barely more than 100,000 votes out of almost 70 million cast. And that, Mr. and Mrs. North and South America, is a squeaker. Opinion here? A rich little Irish kid with King Midas for a daddy has just proved that in this great country you can buy anything, including the White House. Good luck, America.
The fucking photo finish. How close was it?
Less than 120,000.
Unbelievable.
Say the population of a town about the size of Patterson swings the whole country. I'm already working up legislation thinking, maybe, what the hell, maybe I'll get it through. Come on, Roy, we're Democrats. Smile.
I'm smiling. Those rich pricks. Hey, Roy Cohn can work with anyone, even the Kennedys. Molto bene, huh? How does this compare with the real thing in Italy?
Much better, much more elegant for this.
Elegant. You bet your ass it is. Yeah, see, I can do business with him if he'll do business with me. It depends on Bobby. Hey, Walter. Hey.
What do you say, Roy? The place is dead. Jesus, life is downhill. Who are these guys?
Walter Winchell, Congressman Neil Gallagher.
Oh, yeah, New Jersey.
Milo Gandini.
Write it down. What is he?
I'm up to be a product representative. Men's personal products, profumo, shampoo.
He's a model.
Forget about it. Say, Roy, you hear what I hear? Kennedy's gonna name his brother Attorney General. Our friend J. Edgar says it's going to be get Hoffa and get Cohn. Fuck the little cocksucker and all the ships at sea.
Hey, I can work with anyone. I got Congress, right?
Excuse me, what do you want here? What do you want?
Roy Cohn. Bartlett, Hendrick, stay at the door.
Monroe, who are these men?
I'm sorry,
You
Mrs.
get
Cohn.
out
I
of this
tried to
house.
stop.
Ma'am,
we have a warrant for Roy Marcus Cohn.
Well, you have absolutely no right. My husband was a New York State judge. Where are you going? Roy! Roy! Roy!
Davenport, me? Yeah, I can't get in.
Oh, oh, shit.
Nothing down here, sir.
You better have a fucking warrant. And I want to see some ID right now.
FBI, federal
Let's
warrant.
see it. Let's take a look at
This
this.
person, it's Roy Cohn. You're making a big mistake,
All right,
mister.
just wait. Let me just read this fucking thing in the light.
Hello, Roy. Clyde Tolson. We've met. Clyde Tolson. Mr. Hoover asked me to come along this morning.
Mr. Hoover is a personal friend of my son's, and he would not approve of this.
Mom, please. I would like to know.
Mr. Hoover asked me to personally make sure nothing was taken that the warrant doesn't call for.
Well, this thing is written so broadly, you could take anything you want, and it doesn't specify a goddamn thing. Monroe, open the office and let them in.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Mom, please, they're within their rights. They have a warrant.
Mr. Hoover also asked me to ask Mr. Cohn if he would come down to Washington
For what?
to join us for dinner tomorrow night.
Oh, that's nice. That's better. That's...
Mutti, why don't you go in the kitchen and make coffee for everybody?
Again, I apologize, Mr. Cohn. Thank you. But we were forced to implement the demands of the Attorney General. You see, under the current regime, we take our marching orders from the Justice Department, whether we agree with them or not. It seems that you have displeased the president's brother.
Bobby Kennedy is a dangerous man. He's a spoiled rich kid that nobody's ever said no to. And his brother. Look, sir, here you've created the only federal agency that truly works, that gives the people value for their tax dollars. You are the only federal executive that people know and truly respect. You are a hero, sir.
Well, thank you. I think you overstate, but yes, and call me John.
My point is, John, the Kennedy administration will resent your independence. They will want to, and believe me, I understand human nature, put you under Bobby's heel.
Oh, Bobby wants me out.
Which would be a catastrophe for this country. What I need to know, is there any way that I can be of help? That I can be a soldier in your army?
Did you ever hear the way Jimmy Durante says catastrophe? A catastrophe.
Yes.
A great entertainment. Mr. Cohn, we would like to play a short entertainment for you. The sound of Martin Luther King in a motel. You notice that communists make the same telltale sounds as patriots. Robert Kennedy has ordered us to bug King's hotel room wherever he goes. And not just Mr. King.
Can you imagine what the American public would think if they knew that their golden boy liberal hero were planting microphones in Martin Luther King's bedroom?
I'm not worried, Mr. Cohn. You see, I've been doing this since 1924. I've seen hot shots in the White House come, and I've certainly seen them go. 6 of them. This one has 7 more years maximum, and then he'll be gone too. Meanwhile, my files are a great source of comfort and protection. Now, this particular tape, I offer to you. What can you do with it?
As chairman of the Special Committee for the Protection of Individual Privacy, this is not... I herewith demand that you, Robert Kennedy... Just come before us and produce the authorization for the electronic surveillance of Martin Luther King. What makes you think you can call my secretary and dictate a letter like this for my signature?
Isn't this what your committee is supposed to be doing? Individual privacy?
I am one little member of Congress, Roy. This stuff
is an outrage. I am outraged by this.
It isn't news, Roy. Hoover's been taping everybody he doesn't like for years.
Hoover?
He has more tape than 3M. You think you heard something special?
Who said anything about Hoover? I haven't seen Hoover. He has nothing to do with... Listen. Forget Hoover. I am talking about the Constitution of the United States.
Don't do that, okay? Since when are you the protector of our civil rights? Now, look, Hoover plays these tapes at parties. Presidents can't stop him, and I sure as hell can't stop him.
Forget about Hoover. The point is, yes, this is the point. If the American people aren't securing the privacy of their own bedrooms from police state tactics coming out of the White House, then democratic government is dead. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights are dead. No one is safe. The government is overthrown. And you haven't stood up and said or done a goddamn thing about it. But this is funny, right?
Okay, Roy, I understand. You don't want Bobby Kennedy in your bedroom uninvited, do you?
I don't want Bobby Kennedy anywhere.
Well, this shit is too deep for me. Forget it.
Neil? I sure hope you don't have any skeletons in your closet. Because, boy, do they have a way of coming out.
Okay. Okay. I accept it as a threat. Now, you leave me alone, pal. In fact, you stay away from me. We're ended.
Yep.
Don't.
He said it was a threat?
Yes, sir. A threat. It's clear he doesn't have the guts to go against the Kennedys. Neil Gallagher. That's right, sir.
We'll take this one step at a time. Neil Gallagher. Neil Gallagher.
Mr. Cohn's office?
I got it. Cohn?
Roy, it's Iva.
Iva, so nice to hear from you. You've been wonderful.
Well, almost. Look, you know your letter about my loan? I think there must be a misunderstanding.
Don't think so, Iva. Listen, I've only got a minute. I wonder if we could do this at some later...
You refer to my loan as a payment for services. It was a loan, Roy, you remember. And I do need it.
You know, Iva, if there's been a mistake, we'll find it, all right? This is really a bad time.
Where's Cohn? Get out of my way.
What? Neil?
Son of a bitch.
What? Wait.
Read it. Read it!
What?
You knew about it. You and that bastard Hoover you love so much.
What is this, Life magazine? What is this all about? I don't know what this is. This is all news to me.
It's an FBI plant, that's what it is. Tying me in with the mafia. Dead bodies in my basement. Christ, what a story. Jesus, but you, Hoover's completely... Hoover's completely out of his mind. He waited until I'm running for a re-election and then bang! You know what this is going to do to me? How I am going to be killed by this?
Neil.
My whole career? My reputation? Well, I don't forget when I'm threatened. You little cocksucker.
Why don't you just do what he wants and...
Oh, no. I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Let me explain it this
No!
If I have to choose who I want for an enemy, the President of the United States is an Attorney General brother or J. Edgar Hoover, well, that's easy, Roy. Give this to your G-man. No negotiations.
Iva, could I call you back in just 2 minutes? Thank you.
As a member of the Congress, it is not my inclination to judge the sexual proclivities of any public servant or anybody else. However, it has been called to my attention that the director of the FBI and the deputy director of the FBI have been living together as man and wife for the past 28 years at the public's expense. Now, Roy,
Here I've listed all kinds of neat little things, like the armored car that picks them up at the airport, takes them to the Hotel Greenbrier, where they spend the taxpayers' time and money diddling each other.
Every day at noon, as you know, sir, any member of the Congress can make a speech on any subject he wishes.
Yes.
Every single day, Gallagher will be making this speech until Election Day. And he wants you to get Life magazine to print a retraction on the story about the bodies buried in his basement.
It shall be done.
Well, and how will we get Bobby
Go
Kennedy?
away, Roy. Please go, Mr. Cohn.
I've been of use
Roy.
to you.
I think it's time you go.
Bobby Kennedy. You were after me, you were after Hoffa, huh? Get Hoffa and get Cohn. Well, you think I'm stupid? Why me? You were no angel. Right. If McCarthy had stopped short, you would have been 3 feet up his ass.
But I learned
Who do you think
something,
you're talking
Cohn. I learned.
Yeah.
You never learn. What a miserable little man you are.
Yeah.
For one, bribing witnesses, intimidating witnesses, threatening witnesses, false testimony introduced into a court of law.
Bribing witnesses, intimidating witnesses, threatening witnesses, manufacturing evidence, giving evasive, fictitious, vague, false, misleading, and manufactured testimony, and corruptly by threats and offers attempting to influence, impede, and frustrate investigations by the Department of Justice.
How does Mr. Cohn plead?
My client pleads
Not guilty to 48 of the most outrageous, outlandish, egregious, malicious, concocted, surreptitious, solicitous, supercilious, outrageous, mendacious charges I've ever heard in this court, Your Honor.
Thank you for making your point so clearly, Mr. Cohn. Bail recommendations, Mr. Walpin?
I suggest you.
In the matter of bail, Your Honor, the government is willing to release the defendant into his own recognizance.
Uh-oh. What's the catch?
We would like the defendant fingerprinted, Your Honor.
He wants fingerprints, photographs, mugshots.
You may do so.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, you're most welcome.
But I mentioned semen samples, stool specimens, blood counts, white blood cell counts, pap smears, irrigation of the tonsil.
Tell me, how did it feel to have the whole arm of the government reaching out for your throat for a change?
I liked it. Make sure that goes on our little court record here today, Ethel. The challenge invigorated me. Gave Roy a hard-on.
Now, Mr. Garfield, did there come a time when Mr. Cohn indicated to you the payment had already been made?
He says to me he needs another $40,000 for payment of bribes.
Did he specify how the $40,000 was to be distributed?
Yeah, he said $10,000 each for 2 witnesses and another $20,000 for an assistant prosecutor.
Objection. I would never pay an assistant prosecutor for the state of New York more than $50, Your Honor. What, are you nuts?
Mr. Cohn.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cohn, sit down. And if you are late one more time, I'll put you into custody.
I apologize, Your Honor. 20 grand. Guy's dreaming. Hearsay. It's all hearsay. Jesus, Roy. Relax.
Is there any more, Mr. Walton?
No more.
Smart move.
Mr. Raisley, any rebuttal?
You see that black girl, the juror? Well, she's gonna slice me up and serve me on toast. You used up your challenges too fast. Blacks hate me.
I'll never defend another lawyer.
He won't defend me again, that's for sure.
Mr. Garfield, is it fair to say that being suddenly confronted with additional costs, but for whatever purpose, is upsetting?
Yeah, it was.
Infuriating? That make you angry at the defendant?
Me? No, I really do love the guy. But this is business. I gotta tell the truth.
Jesus. Hey, I love you too, Garfield. Mwah!
Your Honor!
Relax. I mean, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I really do apologize. I guess it was just the sincerity and goodwill of the witness. I mean, Jesus Christ, I almost cried. It broke my heart.
Mr. Cohn, while I am on this bench, you will observe the rules of this court.
Bobby Kennedy. No, this is Kennedy's court. It has its own rules.
You are perilously close to contempt.
Hi. Remember me? Peter.
Say something nice to me.
You know, even when you're sad, you're very exciting.
Even when you're lying, so are you.
Last time I was here, you danced with me, with everyone. It was a great night. But after reading about your trial and tribulations, do you want to hear an optimistic word?
Be an optimist for me tonight.
Well, I don't think a first-class bastard like you is going to get beat by a bunch of amateurs.
Mr. Cohn, you've been consistently and arrogantly unpunctual, and I'm prepared to cite you for the failure to... Mr. Raisley, your client may... Would you like to request postponing these proceedings?
Not at all, Your Honor. I think this court has proceeded in a tough, honorable, new frontier kind of way.
Are you in pain?
No, I know. It's just these drainage sacks, the stitches. That's just from a little cosmetic surgery I had. Just a little nip and a tuck. But if you want to continue, Your Honor, I'm prepared to do so.
Very well. Please resume the stand. Mr. Raisley, are you prepared to continue with the questioning?
Yes, Your Honor.
And this court is called to order, and the witness is reminded that he is still under oath.
Mr. Cohn, when we adjourned, you were describing your duties as counsel to Senator McCarthy's committee. What was the purpose of that committee's investigation?
To uncover communist infiltration in various parts of the government, including the Treasury Department.
Who was the Secretary of the Treasury at that time?
Henry Morgenthau, Jr.
And is he the father of the present U.S. attorney here, who's brought these charges against you?
Yes. And he's been conspiring with the Attorney General, Robert Kennedy, ever since I investigated the transfer of money plates.
Get in. Well, objection!
To Russia under his father. They must have set a record, like 8,450.
Your Honor, we object. The defendant has no way of knowing what's in the mind of Mr. Morgenthau or the Attorney General.
Questions about my personal and private life, the date I had my adenoids removed.
Sustained. The objection is sustained. Sustained.
My first erection, anything to
Your Honor!
To try to trap me. And you know what they got? They got nothing. You got nothing, right? You want my blood here? Come on, take it.
The objection is sustained. It is sustained. Now, you know better. You're a lawyer. Now, are you quite through?
You're not going to finish me that easily.
The defendant's remarks will be stricken from the record, and the jury will disregard them.
Every single fucking prosecution witness is a convicted felon given immunity. Don't you think? Don't you see that even the stupidest jury in the world is going to know these guys have all made their deals? They'd say anything. Don't you think the jury knows that? Right. Even my father would find for me. Even him.
You want a character witness now?
I was found guilty, Roy. But was I guilty?
The jury determines the guilt. I presented the facts. They decided you were guilty. Did you do it? I don't know. Who knows? Who cares?
Whatever happened to right or wrong?
I don't know.
You never did know.
The judge wants to see you?
The judge?
father of juror number 9 was killed in an automobile accident early this morning. Now, I have to decide whether or not she should be told. Opinions?
Well, we feel the jury's very close to a verdict, Your Honor.
A few hours more, possibly less. If the father were very ill, we'd reluctantly agree.
Yes, dead is dead, and stopping now is not going to bring the girl's father back.
Your Honor, for God's sake, she just lost her father.
Let his lawyer speak.
I'm not talking to you, shithead.
All right, stop it.
Unless the prosecution has been listening at the door, they don't know any more than we do about when the verdict's coming. 9 is the black girl, Roy.
Oh, Your Honor, you gotta tell a person that their father died, or what? Roy Cohn goes on national television and tells the world that these pricks want to put him in jail so badly, they'll put a juror's father in the ground and not tell her?
That's contempt. Threatening the court with blackmail.
Wait. Should I choose to inform her? Would both sides agree to allow 11 jurors to bring in the verdict?
That. Not even remotely. Forget
The
it.
defense would not agree, Your Honor.
Mumsy! The system works! I beat the bastards! Mutti! Ah, this is a great country, Monroe. Equal justice for all, yes! Mumsy! Mutti! Mutti! Oh, your little frog prince has done it again. Mutti, Mutti, Sleeping Beauty. Yishkadal, Yishkadash. Dora, I love you. Goodbye. We hereby consecrate your ashes to the wind and waters of the world from which they have come, and New Jersey, from which you didn't. I am most decidedly not supporting perjury. I'm just suggesting maybe the guy's memory could be a little less acute than it was during the deposition.
What a pity.
Sorry, Mr. Cohn.
Thank you, Monroe. Well, at least Monroe hasn't forgotten about me, though apparently you have. I need to speak to you, Cohn.
Can you hold on a second?
How dare you not return my phone calls?
That's because I do not accept threats. I would be very careful with me. I am somebody you want to keep as a friend.
What did you call yourself? A friend? You stole my money. You lied to me. And would you put down the phone?
Can I call you back? My God, Ivor, that was years ago, and I'm sorry you don't remember the
I
circumstances.
have the IOU. It's signed Roy Cohn, all right?
The divorce, going to wherever the fuck it was, South Africa, it ate up the money.
Please,
dearly.
Roy. You can scare some of the important men because they know how dangerous a person like you is to them, but you don't scare me. I'm sheltered. I'm sheltered enough to believe that if I am right, I am right, and if you are wrong, and that will be enough.
That is never enough. From the best legal mind in New York, this piece of advice is free.
What?
It's not enough to be right. Fight me, Ivor. Because Roy Cohn never loses.
Really? Well, we'll just see about that.
Why do I feel like Caligula?
Because I treat you like an emperor.
All right. I wish. Look at what you did to
I'm
me.
sorry. I don't think I...
Dumb
Yes, I did.
queer. Look at this.
Yeah, put this on.
That's nice.
Right.
Yeah, relax. It's fine. Stop, please. It's fine. It stopped.
I'm sorry.
What was wrong with you? Hasn't it stopped? Yes? God. My God.
Hold on.
God. Give me something quick. What did you do?
Here, Roy.
What did you do? Get me something.
Roy.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. What's wrong with you?
Okay, that looks better.
Okay,
that's fine.
It's okay. Oh, just put a little pressure on. Oh, God. 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 Is it all right? Oh.
No, it's bleeding.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Is
Roy,
it okay?
Roy.
Do something. Call
Just
call the doctor. Damn doctor, some questions we have no goddamn right to ask.
What question?
About my life. It's none of his business. I wouldn't answer.
Where to, Mr. Cohn?
Anyway, just drive.
Sorry about the bad news, sir.
Bad news? How did you hear?
It's on the radio, sir.
Radio? What's on the radio?
The state of New York is bringing disbarment proceedings against you. Sir, it's on radio and TV.
What else did they say?
Oh, they mentioned,
I've a Schlesinger?
Yes, sir.
That cow. I gotta go.
What's he doing now?
Can you... I gotta go to court because they're gonna try to disbar me.
The hearings are over, darling. All over.
Did I win?
No.
No. They disbarred me.
Oh, they did. Why were you so naughty?
Oh,
Why? Why did you get me? Because I was a woman.
No.
Because I was a Jew.
No. I killed you for the headlines. For the fucking headlines.
You don't remember?
I gotta go now.
Oh, my God, the last stages. It gets in the brain, you know?
Justice. Justice has a way.
Justice.
The fact is, he never found a communist. He never found a communist.
I have a list.
Yes. A communist. You were a communist.
A list the length of which is just amazing to behold.
Oh, you pixie. I knew what you were. And you, what? You were a communist. I saw you with your sunspots. I got your sun. And you're drunk. I don't need any. Drunk and this guy. But look at you now. God.
Why don't you help him? He's dead. Oh, he will be soon.
Fuck that. You know who this is? It's the little girl I didn't want on the jury. But then her father got killed, and I got saved.
My father didn't need to die, Mr. Cohn.
He died for my sins.
I was the only juror who would have saved you. I would have saved you. I would have voted for you. You were all alone in that court. Nobody on your side. They were all after you. I know how that feels.
Wait.
Aye.
Wait. Do you know what he threw my ashes in? The East River. You wouldn't let your dog swim in it.
Ma.
Yet he's mine. You're mine.
I didn't make you the way you are. You did. You made a monster. Why?
Looking for the... Why? A confession. Why I live the way. Jew. Persecuted Jews. Gay. Crucified gays. Practiced law before the greatest courts and stole, cheated from everyone. Had a full life. That's why. I loved every minute of it. Did whatever I wanted to do. I can't believe you let me get away with it.
Mr. Cohn, have you no sense of mortality, sir, at long last? Will you not rid us of your presence? They need the room.
Hey, where did they all go?
We're not through yet, are we? I need to file an extension. Dora, Mutti, Ma, don't leave me. Don't let them take me. They can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread boy.
Roy.
Nurse! Nurse! Somebody get in here!
Code blue stat!
Code blue stat! Crash start right now! We're coming!
Code blue, 918. Code blue.
No.
It's over. Let him go. Well, at last he did something human. What was he saying?
Tell me the name of the judge.
Cancel code blue. Cancel code blue.